East basketball is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. That picture can only mean one thing. The UConn Huskies are in the building, tipping off their Big East tournament action as the top seed, taking on the 9th-seeded Georgetown-Hoyas. This is part of the Marathon quarterfinal day, the first of 4 games for you. FS2 will take over coverage when DePaul and Marquette square off later this afternoon. Well, it's great to have you with us, everybody. I'm John Fanta. She is Kim Adams. We'll join the third member of our team, Megan Caffrey, in a few moments. The UConn Huskies set their sights on a 20th Big East Tournament championship this week, but it's been a season of adversity. What's on your mind with this team heading into the conference tournament?
Well, before we get to the team, John, we have to talk about this atmosphere. UConn fans were lining up hours before the game. This place is packed, but they certainly have a lot to cheer about. The UConn Huskies have it rolling, but it certainly helps when you add back last year's National Player of the Year. Paige Beckers will play today, back for her 3rd game since missing 19 games with that knee injury. And John, she had been averaging 21 points per game before going out, and now we're starting to see what can this UConn team look like with her back in the mix. Players have evolved, and now we're going to see how can Paige Beckers fit back in seamlessly with her teammates.
Let's turn to the opponent today, the 9th-seeded Georgetown Hoyas. We're in a battle with Providence yesterday, and then their press changed the game.
Yeah, the Hoyas completely turned up the defense coming out of that halftime locker room. They have size on the interior. They have speed on the perimeter, and it was the 3-quarter court press that absolutely gave the Providence Friars nightmares. They were able to force 23 turnovers and run them back for 31 points. So look for them to fight and claw through this game, John.
The Connecticut Huskies are back to full strength at the right time as March has arrived. UConn looks to start another run to a title next. And unfortunate for the Hoyas to not have Ransom. What do you make of Beckers coming off the bench?
I think it's interesting. I think she's going to enjoy it. I mean, we've seen her get really hyped for her teammates on the bench during her timeout, and I think it gives her a little bit of time to process how the game is developing, and she will certainly be amped up to get back in there.
Last year we were here, nobody in the building. This is a welcome sight. A full house at Mohegan Sun. First of 4 quarterfinal games. Buckle up for Big East women's basketball. Sophia Nelson-Adona wins the tip, and the Huskies have it.
And right away, John, you see Georgetown coming out in a 3-2 zone. That's predominantly how they played yesterday and how they expect to come out on that end today.
Traveling violation on Nelson-Adona. Nash Forsberg, Tom Danaher, John Capolino, our officiating crew.
We talked about the Georgetown press. Huskies also coming out with some full court pressure here, led by that Defensive Player of the Year, Nika Mule, at the top.
These teams met in the regular season. UConn forced 30 Georgetown turnovers. Now with 6. AZ5 goes back to the Hoyas. Dino Auriemma, second all-time in Division I history in wins, and he talked with us before the game, and he said this has truly been like any other season. To use 10 starting lineups in a season at UConn, he said, we haven't even had a season here where I've had to use 5.
Yeah, he said, you know, back in the day, he would have players maybe 35, 40 games throughout the season and didn't have to make a shift. So it's certainly been different challenges that Dino has had to face this season.
That 3 doesn't fall for Brianna Scott.
You see early on, John, this zone is very active. Hands are up. Paying a lot of attention to players in the middle of the paint.
Lee Edwards loses the basketball. that was something that Gino Auriemma talked with us about, Kim. He said in the Big East, in the half court, opponents know what to do defensively.
Yeah, especially a team like Georgetown. They really pride themselves on defense, on that zone. Early on, I've been impressed with their communication on that end of the floor.
Here's Jenkins to get Georgetown started.
Georgetown has some young, bright stars in Ariel Jenkins, in Brianna Scott, both players who are comfortable stepping out and spacing the floor with that 3-ball.
Maisie Fudd tries again and hits her first postseason bucket.
And coming out in a zone presents some risks, especially when Azzi Fudd is on the perimeter. She's shooting better than 50% from 3 since she returned from injury. So if you're going to stick with the zone, you have to mark her at all times.
There's Milan Bolden Morris coming off an 18-point game yesterday. And a traveling on Williams. Jimmy Howard, in his 5th year at Georgetown, was on the staff as an assistant before taking over as the head coach. And he said that if we see him cross half court today and go up to Gino Auriemma during the game, it's because he's trying to make a trade for Azzi Fudd.
We enjoyed talking to Coach Howard yesterday before the game, and he's just talked so much about the fight in this team, and that was what was on display yesterday. And a lot of that came from Kelsey Ransom, who, as Megan reported, we are sad to not see her out there, but there are players ready to step up.
Traveling there. We have had 8 shot attempts in this game, Kim. All have come from beyond the arc.
3-point shootout, and there's a look at Kelsey Ransom, who it just pains us to see her on the bench. Sophomore who is a menace on the defensive end, was putting together a fantastic season and just plays so hard. So we're wishing her the best as she works to get back out there.
There's Kristen Williams. All 9 shot attempts coming from the 3-point line.
It's like a game of horse right now, around the world, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if anyone goes for a 2 here in this first quarter.
Brianna Scott now with 8 on the shot clock. Now with 5, it's Jenkins with the handoff. West has to hurry. She attacks, and Mule shut her down. That's the Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
Kristen Williams, one of the veteran leaders on this Husky team, has been shooting the ball really well, really consistently this season. And a couple times now, the Huskies have found openings against that zone.
Aaliyah Edwards sticks it back.
She is such a force inside. You have her, Nelson Adota, Dorka Juhas at 6'5" will come in off the bench. That is a intimidating front line.
That's narrow stage with Georgetown. There's Paige Beckers. We wait her first appearance in this tournament. I thought it was really interesting talking with Gino Auriemma before the game, Kim. He said to us, this is going to be an experiment because we had players take on much increased roles during the regular season. How do we manage them taking smaller ones?
Right, and it's a great problem to have, right? A lot of coaches would love to have to solve that problem. But it'll be interesting. You know, players, we're playing a lot of minutes now. Nika Mule, Azzi Fudd, Caroline Ducharme, and now everyone will have to adjust. But I think this is such an unselfish group. They're not going to care who's playing the minutes. They are happy to have Paige back out there and rack up as many wins as they can.
Butt off. Picked off by Williams. Here comes the All Big East first team selection to the hoop.
And she is so tough in that passing lane game, defense to offense, as well as she's been shooting from the outside. She's almost unstoppable when she's in the transition game.
7 straight for the Huskies. And to travel.
Kristen Williams playing in front of her fans at Mohegan Sun for the first time in a while. defense to offense for the senior.
UConn out to a 10-6 lead on Georgetown. Big East Tournament quarterfinal action. And we are about to see the debut in this tournament of Paige Bueckers, who has returned after missing the 19 games with a knee injury.
And I can't imagine the excitement she must feel checking in off the bench. What I'm interested to see, John, is towards the end of her freshman year, she really got that killer mentality, the player who wants her ball in the hands in the big moments. And we've seen her slowly reacclimating to the game, kind of letting her teammates lead the way. So I'm wondering when we're going to start to see that switch flip back on. And I mean, this is a great crowd to play in front of. So let's see what Miss Bueckers is going to bring for us today.
As Megan said at the outset, Gino Auriemma hopes that she'll just have to play around 20 minutes per game in each of what the Huskies expect will be 3 games in the Big East tournament.
Yeah, I think that's smart. You want to allow her not only to just get her feel back for the game, but to keep conditioning in mind, not rush into anything unnecessarily.
5 on the timer. Paige Bueckers. Rebound by Dorka Juhans. Juhans. It'll stay with Connecticut with 8.
Georgetown right now doing a really nice job of balancing both, packing in on the big players inside and locating the shooters on the perimeter.
Bud. Offensive board by Juhans. And the officials convene. And it will stay with the Huskies. Williams.
I saw that one coming as soon as the ref handed her the ball. You can't play off of her that much. Archer was just hugging the elbow.
Now Kristen Williams with the board. She's 3 for 3. Extra pass from Bueckers to Fudd. Edwards. She's got 4.
And I had just talked about the balance of the inside and out, but that time a little bit too much focus went to the player in the post, leaving Edwards wide open at the high post. And this is a tough team to zone because of the size and the shooters. You're taking your gambles and what you're willing to give up.
Bueckers with the steal, but gives it right back.
UConn starting to pick apart this zone. I mean, this was just a miscommunication. One of the leading scorers in the Big East left wide open. And then Aaliyah Edwards, a little high-low action, finding that opening. That is where you want to really attack that 2-3 zone, is the free throw line area.
Bueckers up ahead to Williams. It's been hot to start. Kristen Williams again. Kristen Williams is a machine. 4 for 4, and Georgetown calls timeout. A senior setting the tone in the Big East tournament. UConn on a 15-0 run. Kristen Williams has scored 11 of those 15.
And it's sometimes seniors at this time of year, John, they want it more. They're stepping up. And I was just praising Georgetown for locating shooters on the perimeter. I must have jinxed them because a couple times down the floor, Kristen Williams has been left wide alone on the three-point line. Her teammates doing a nice job of recognizing on the interior that they're getting collapsed on and kicking out. She is perfect in this early afternoon start. 3 of 3 from deep and 11 points. Kristen Williams is fired up.
You remember last year, Kim, in the Big East tournament, when we first talked to Gino Auriemma, he said Kristen Williams was the key to the Huskies postseason. And the way that today started, it feels a lot like that again.
I think she is, those last couple of minutes, really set the tone offensively. I'm sure that helps Paige Bueckers in her return, just allows her to relax a little bit as she makes her way back in the game.
Rebound by Uhas off the great Sam Bennett miss. What a pass from Beckers to Edwards. Uhas stuffed. The Hoyas give it right back. 7th giveaway.
Now you see a little defensive change here from Georgetown for the first time. This is that 3/4 court press that really changed the game against Providence yesterday.
On the timer. Now Williams, 4 on the shot clock. Here's Beckers. Beckers to Williams. She ran out of time.
He did knock it down, though. A little late, but an extra rep, still perfect on the afternoon. And that's where you start to think, you know, last year, does Paige take that shot? But I don't blame her. You know, it takes a while to get that feel and that rhythm back, little by little.
Dina Westbrook, Caroline Ducharme in for the Huskies, and that's the situation for UConn. They now have the 9 rotation players all healthy. West. An air ball from Clougherty. Hoyas have not scored in over 5 minutes. Dina Westbrook with the basketball. Gina Auriemma has said she really relishes coming in off the bench for this team. Uhas was fouled.
UConn doing a nice job of keeping spacing on their offense, staying patient. And Uhas, we were talking about this before the game, you really don't realize how big she is until you see her in person. You already have Nelson Adota at 6'4". You have the strong Aaliyah Edwards, and then Uhas, the Ohio State transfer, at 6'5", can play a little bit differently than those two, a little bit more outside than Nelson Adota and Edwards.
For Uhas, 2-time first team all Big Ten with the Buckeyes, and only adds to the size of this team. It was already in a good place with Aaliyah Edwards and Olivia Nelson Adota.
I think the defensive end of the floor is really starting to come together for UConn, especially with the size of that front court. And defense was something UConn and Gino talked to us about before the game as what they are really keyed in on here for this postseason play.
Hoya is still in a scoring drought. Westbrook to Williams, into Nelson Adota, and she will head to the line for a pair.
UConn continues to feed inside of this zone. It's been Uhas, it's been Nelson Adota, and right now there's a clear size advantage in the game, and the bigs are taking advantage, just going up strong with the ball.
Olivia Nelson Adota has had the ups and downs of this season, but double figures in the last 3 games and appears to also be packaging together her best.
And I think she is such a force on the defensive end with her length, with her timing. She's really smart about altering and blocking shots without fouling.
And shut that down right on cue without fouling. Here's Williams, who's had the hot quarter. Kristen Williams, a perfect first quarter.
She's just in attack mode. She's surveying, she's seeing what the defense is given to her. That time had a path right to that left side of the rim.
Georgetown trying to find something, and instead a travel and a turnover. This is a 19-0 Huskies run, and they have 6.8 here. It's Westbrook. Evina Westbrook gives it off at the last moment, and that'll do it for the opening frame. All business for Gino Auriemma's dynasty. Kristen Williams starting scalding hot. A 13-point first quarter. 5 of 5 from the field. She's leading the way for UConn. Connecticut 22, Georgetown 6, heading into the second quarter. Let's welcome back Megan Caffrey on the sidelines.
Thanks so much, John. Well, after yesterday's win over Providence, we saw a really emotional moment between Grace Ann Bennett and her coach, Jimmy Howard, where she completely broke down in her coach's arm. And that's because back on February 5th, Grace Ann Bennett lost her mom unexpectedly. And it was actually head coach Jimmy Howard who had to deliver the news to his player. He told us, "I will never forget that cry when she got the news," telling us Bennett's why changed that day, and it's about her mom. That is why she's playing now. Fast forward to yesterday's win over Providence. Well, Grace Ann finished with one of her best games since mid-January. And that hug, that embrace was a moment where Coach Howard told us sometimes you just need a hug. So he just hugged his player and he said, you could feel it. You didn't have to say anything. Coach saying, I thought Grace Ann's mom had her wings over us in that game, and it was simply just a special moment.
That is so, so powerful, and it's beyond basketball.
Yeah, and Barbara Barnes, Georgetown SID, telling us the Georgetown team actually took a bus after a home game at Georgetown all the way up to Lake George, New York to attend Michelle's funeral. So such an incredible feeling it must be to have your teammates around to help you through such a difficult time.
And you played the game. You stay in touch with the teammates you play with at Penn. What's that mean?
Yeah, it's a family, even back to high school teammates. You're staying in touch. You're wishing the best for them. You've been there for each other through some high times, through some really low times, and that sticks with you forever.
There's Dorka Juhas showing off her range. And right on cue, there's the Big East Defensive Player of the Year, Nika Mule.
She's just sneaky, just out of nowhere, picks the pocket. She's a player, when you're doing the ball handling drills in practice, little zigzag, you would hate to have to match up with her in practice. Same thing if she's guarding you in the game.
23-0 run. Huskies' best this year came against Xavier. That was 37 straight. And Bennett will look to break it up right now.
Couple quick buckets. We talked about the ability of Dorka Juhas to space the floor at 6'5", and then don't turn your head. Nika Mule picks the pocket of Yasmin Ott, just reminding everyone that she is the Big East Defensive Player of the Year. I do have to give props, though, to Kelsey Ransom, the injured player. I think she is a future Defensive Player of the Year, second in the Big East in steals this season, so look out for her in the next couple of years.
Again, the sophomore out today with the ankle injury. Unfortunate for all the ball handling she does for the Hoyas. For the corner, it's Westbrook. The Huskies are lighting it up from downtown. Their 5th triple.
Yeah, this zone is teetering on becoming a danger zone. Even if you are a half step late on the closeout, the Huskies are really starting to knock down from the outside consistently.
5 of 9 from deep. Now here's Archer. With 7 on the shot clock, the Hoyas stuck again. Ott gives it away. 11th turnover forced by Connecticut. Westbrook. Nelson Adota with the offensive rebound. She leads this team in assists. For reasons like that, as Juhas keeps on pursuing it, they'll get a 4th opportunity now.
And that's another trouble spot when you play a zone. It's a lot harder to rebound out of a zone because you're not matched up body to body, so you have to go find somebody when the shot goes up.
Nelson Adota, now 5 on the timer. Nika Mule. 4 looks at it, and the Hoyas get a stop.
I think Georgetown can generate a little bit more offense, some better ball movement, playing through the post, but not necessarily taking the shots there. Milan Bolden Morris, we talked about the big play she's had. She's a player who was really fired up yesterday, someone who's going to look to put her team on the back a little bit here, especially without Kelsey Ransom.
Here comes Paige Beckers. It's like waves, Kim. They could bring Beckers and Aaliyah Edwards right back in. Here comes Kristen Williams, joined by Fudd and Ducharme.
It's a scary thought with how good this team can be now that really just the last couple of games finally have their full group together for the first time since November.
Gene Horiema told us, look, you don't know how good you can be when you haven't had your full roster. There's 4 on the shot clock here. Bolden Morris feeds it off and they run out of time. Shot clock violation. But he also said the opponent doesn't know what exactly we can do either, making us a tough scout, and that's evidenced here by the regular season award winners.
Yeah, you see 2 first-teamers in Williams and Nelson Adota. We mentioned Mule, Caroline Ducharme, Azzi Fudd, all-freshman team, and Caroline Ducharme also named to the All-Big East second team in her freshman year.
And, of course, Paige Beckers isn't even on that list because she's only played in 8 games this season. She can pass it. Williams in and out. But another offensive rebound. They're 8th. Beckers.
I think Georgetown can play with a little bit more pace, try and get some maybe secondary transition buckets before you allow UConn to settle into this half-court defense that is so long and athletic.
What a save by Williams. Fudd to the deck. And a foul. It is on Jenkins.
It's tournament time. We have players leaving it all out here. Kristen Williams, almost like a little bowl action there. And then 2 freshmen here going at it, getting on the floor, as both coaches have to love to see that.
Just perfect ball movement. And a foul on Edwards, fighting for the rebound.
Yeah, that I was about to say, put that one in a textbook, tweet it out for a clinic until the air ball. So we'll run it back, see if they can get it next time.
And facial expression from Gino Auriemma said he was a little bit surprised at Ducharme there. Back door open for West. She can't connect. Offensive board. Edwards comes down with it. Fudd. That's the next step of her game.
And Gino talked to us about that. He said Azzi's known as a 3-point shooter, but we're seeing her get that mid-range game, take it to the rack. The freshman enjoying her first game in the Big East tournament so far.
Welcome back to Mohegan Sun. UConn 31, Georgetown 7, Big East quarterfinals, and Azzi Fudd is finding her rhythm.
Yeah, Azzi Fudd had missed 11 games with a foot injury. This Tennessee game was really her welcome to Connecticut moment. She went off in this game, 25 points. She was lethal from behind the arc, knocking down 7 of 9, and played a big part in that rivalry win. And really ever since then, John, you've just seen a light go off. You've seen her relax a little bit and just be able to trust her talents. There's a reason why she was the #1 recruit in her class, and man, has she had it going on, especially from behind that 3-point line.
Azzi Fudd saying in the past couple of weeks, well, now we can resume the debate of who's better, Paige or me.
Yeah, those 2 friends, really good friends for a while now, teammates on Team USA activities. But yeah, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what those 2 can package together.
Williams. Fudd to Beckers. was Becker's first three-point attempt since she's come back for Connecticut. Not take one in the first 2 games she's returned in last weekend. Now 10 on the shot clock for Georgetown. Send it back over to Megan.
Thanks, John. Well, we like to keep it in the family here. How about this? AZ Fudd's mom, Katie Smirka Duffy Fudd, not only played at Georgetown, well, she still holds the program. She's second in the program history with 3-point field goal percentage, and she was actually the first Hoya ever taken in the WNBA draft back in April 2001 when Fudd was drafted to the Sacramento Monarchs. And one thing that really stands out about the resemblance between a Fudd and her mom is their jumper. When UConn actually took AZ to their recruiting trip, they showed her a highlight reel of her mom, and she said that was when she actually realized me and my mom had the exact same jump shot.
Great stuff, Megan.
Coach Oriema said AZ's mom, what did he say, more frenetic player. Somebody who's just flying around the court at all times. And Coach Howard, who coached AZ's mom, had similar sentiments as well.
What an inspiration AZ's mom has been to her through the injuries that she dealt with. And right on cue, there's AZ Fudd with her second 3.
It's just a picture-perfect form, John. The high release, the follow-through, shoulder square. If you're looking to become a better jump shooter, I don't care what level of the game you're watching, AZ Fudd is one to study.
Here's West. Offensive board for Archer, and that ends a 6-minute drop for Georgetown.
Jillian Archer is really a beast on the board, and I think gritty plays like that are the offense that Georgetown is going to look for right now. They're certainly missing the playmaking abilities of Kelsey Ransom.
Down today with an ankle injury. She really led Georgetown to the win over Providence. AZ Fudd has welcomed everybody to Mohegan Sun for a free clinic.
And this is what could happen. There is mom looking on. I think mom's saying, come on, guys, she got that from me, the high follow through. But Gino talked to us about that earlier. He said AZ Fudd, he actually compared her to former UConn Husky Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis with her ability to just take a team out of it within a 5-minute span.
Kayla Vada Archer. Archer turns. Edwards with the rebound. Here comes Fudd. This time she dishes it off. Paige Beckers.
I'm pretty sure I saw Paige take a sigh of relief after that one. I think you said that is her first 3-pointer made now since her return from that 19-game absence.
We are seeing the full complement of players on hand for the Huskies this afternoon. Archer can't connect, now stripped by Westbrook, and here they come again. 4-on-2. Williams. It'll stay with the Huskies.
AZ Fudd has started to catch fire from behind the 3-point line a little bit. That is her 3rd of this first half. She likes it on both sides, the elbow, the corner, everything feeling good right now. And there is mom Katie, who Megan just gave us a great recap of. Has to be so proud of her daughter right now.
On the timer. Fudd to Beckers. Paige Beckers now catching fire with Fudd.
And the Huskies playing so well as a unit right now. Unselfish play. You have players getting into the paint, coming to jump stops, finding the open teammate. And Paige starting to sense that rhythm coming back.
Here's West now with 3. Bolden Morris was out of bounds with 1.2. The reigning champs have arrived to the Big East tournament and arrived with an emphatic, full-strength, dominant opening 20 minutes.
UConn has everything working right now. Defense, offense, everybody getting involved on the action. They've knocked down 9 threes in the first half of this game. And Paige Becker's back for her 3rd game, and she has knocked down 2 shots from behind the arc now.
Megan Caffrey is with Gino Auriemma.
Thanks so much, John. Well, Coach, you told us before the game your defense would be what got your offense going. What is your defense doing so successfully?
Well, I think we're rushing them a little bit. You know, they're not able to get into any kind of a rhythm, so their shots are coming a little bit quicker than they want them to. The other thing we're doing a pretty good job is whatever they're trying to run on offense, we're doing a good job of taking that away. So we're making them have to make a play instead of run the play they want to run. And we're covering for each other really, really well. And, you know, when you play defense as well as we've been playing it, the offensive end becomes a little bit easier.
Speaking of your offense, how do you continue to get really good three-point opportunities in the second?
Well, I'd like to see us get the ball inside a little bit more. You know, they've sat in that zone pretty much the whole game, and I think that we're getting a lot of 3 opportunities, and I like to also involve inside outside, but when we have our really good 3-point shooters out there and they're shooting, it's really tough to cover the whole court. So I just like the way we're playing right now.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
John and Kim.
Thanks, Meg. Coming up on the Jeep halftime report, we'll break down the first half of this game, plus get you caught up on a busy Saturday here at the Big East Tournament. It's halftime here at Mohegan Sun with our score, UConn 43, Georgetown 9. After the break, it's the Jeep halftime report. UConn 43, Georgetown 9, heading into quarter number 3. Welcome back, everybody. Big East Tournament quarterfinals here at Mohegan Sun. I'm John Fanta. She is Kim Adams. So UConn lit up the nets. 9 3-pointers in the opening 20 minutes. And back at full strength, this team looked, frankly, really scary.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Georgetown sticks with the zone, because as you mentioned, UConn was able to really move the ball and kill that zone with their outside shooting.
Let's take a look at the Jeep stat comparison from the opening 20 minutes.
Threes are the big story here for UConn, as you mentioned, and then those turnovers, 17 for the Hoyas. That was the main concern for James Howard coming into this game. And we mentioned without Kelsey Ransom, their point guard, their primary playmaker, they're certainly missing her out with the ankle injury.
Kristen Williams, 13 points. A trio of trifectas. A.Z. Fudd with 3 of her own. And it was all Connecticut in front of this packed house. Send it back over to Megan Caffrey.
Thanks so much, John. Well, we are going to see Georgetown getting into a little bit more man here in the second half. That's one thing Coach Howard told me. And offensively, he said we need to get better cuts to get some movement. We were just completely shut down in the first. John and Kim.
Boy is trying to find something. Only 3 made shots in that first half. Fogarty gets them started.
And I think they just need a little bit of confidence right now. Some lineup changes here to start the second half for Georgetown. And just keeping things simple, I think, John, and settling in, knowing that UConn is big, but not getting too intimidated or pressured by it.
You get to this point of a game, and if you're Georgetown, you really have nothing to lose. Ten on the timer for Williams. Edwards.
spacing is crucial here for Georgetown, John, just because of how big UConn is. You want to keep those bigs moving, and unfortunately another turnover here right to Kristen Williams.
A 2-on-1 drill and one for Kristen Williams from Mule.
We talked in the first half just how dangerous Kristen Williams is in passing lane. She always has that timing down, the anticipation factor, and then she is so good in making decisions. A little 2-on-1 break there, give and go. Kristen Williams picks up where she left off in the first half.
Great to see this crowd on hand at Mohegan Sun. This is the first of 4 quarterfinal games today. DePaul and Marquette coming up. They'll meet, winner of that one will meet the winner of this one in the semifinals. Villanova St. John's and Seton Hall Creighton. Our nightcap as Aaliyah Edwards is up to 6.
And that should make Gino happy. We heard in his interview with Megan, he would like a little bit more inside out. They did have so many open threes in the first, so his team did a good job of taking what was given to them, but nice interior pass in Edwards there.
Bennett switches it home. UConn turns it back over. Grace Ann Bennett, we told her story. Special to see what she's fought back from.
Yeah, she is a forward who can really step out, shoot it confidently from behind the arc, and that has to feel good, this start for Georgetown. Really tough first half, but they're coming out spirited. They're a team who Coach Howard just says continues to fight and fight through whatever adversity they have faced this season.
You have someone on your team that's lost their mother during the season like she has. So unfortunate. And to see her playing in the postseason now in the month of March and doing what she does for this Georgetown program says it all about her and the impact her mother had on her. Turnover here. West is fouled by Nelson Adota, her second.
Kaylin West in her first season with Georgetown, grad transfer from Coastal Carolina. Doesn't average too many points, nothing that jumps out at you on the box score, but Coach Howard said she has been such a calming veteran presence, running the point.
Aaliyah Edwards just took the ball out in the air and scores it.
One day I think she's going to throw it down on one of those. You could tell she's getting ready to take off from the trampoline there on one of these days.
She's really taken off now, Kim. She competed for Team Canada in the Olympics over the summer. Didn't get off to a great start to the season, but this is the Aaliyah Edwards that we know.
Yeah, such a versatile player, such mobility and speed as a 6'2" post player. And we talked about AZ Fudd coming out in the Tennessee game. I thought Aaliyah Edwards, that was a pivotal game for her as well. I was on hand for that one, and I thought she really got back to the confident ways that we saw from her as a freshman.
The deflection by West. Stays with UConn. That was a Mamba play.
That's why her hair is the color it is. Inspired by Kobe.
Bud. Milan Bolton Morris, 18 points in the win over Providence yesterday. And hit that. Here comes Mule. Off to 5. Back to the Hoyas. Here comes Avina Westbrook and Dorka Juhas. Talked to people around this Connecticut program, and they've said this has been the great adventure of 2021-22. 10 different starting lineups, 8 players who have missed 2 or more games due to injuries. But now you think about the rotations and figuring all that out. You're seeing the Huskies just come in waves. Westbrook. Battle for it here. Edwards comes down with it.
Yeah, John, there's certainly silver linings to what went on. We saw players emerge. Gino mentioning Caroline Ducharme, the freshman, probably the person who they figured out how good she really is.
If that's going for Edwards.
She looks confident. She's waiting on her shot, no hesitation, been aggressive on the defensive end of the floor. A lot clicking right now for the Huskies.
Nails the triple. She had 5 threes in the regular season matchup with Connecticut. Williams. And a foul on Kristen Williams and a timeout here in Mohegan Sun. Kristen Williams and the Huskies are rolling in the quarterfinals. It's all Huskies in the Big East tournament. Let's go inside UConn's huddle with the Hall of Famer, Gino Auriemma.
There's going to be games where the ball's not going in, and we got to get more possessions. And we get to go to the free throw line when you score on offensive rebound, because people foul you. Okay?
One thing I love about listening to Gino Auriemma, whether it's in the huddle, whether it's halftime, timeouts, post-game interviews, he always seems like his team is down 40. But he always continues coaching no matter what the score deficit is, because he always has the bigger picture in mind, as we just saw that graphic there since his Hall of Fame induction. I don't know if somebody could be inducted twice, but he's certainly a candidate for that.
He would be the front runner for that. We have a tie-up here on the baseline between Edwards and Scott. Hopefully, Brianna Scott is okay.
Take a look. Looks like just kind of a physical tie up here. Yeah, arms just got tangled. No ill intention there from either player. Tough fall. Both getting the brunt of it, but nice sportsmanship here for the fans of Mohegan Sun, cheering everybody on.
They are first-class fans and will stay around for other action today. We had a pretty full lower bowl for the first-round games yesterday. 5 on the shot clock. It's off to Edwards, and a blocking foul.
Oh.
Hard collision. Flaugherty on the other end of it.
Must have been in the arc, because I thought this was a pretty good take. I guess she did get there a little bit late. Ooh. Looks like she may have knocked her head a little bit, but really great effort to slide over there, just a half step too late. And on the other end, that was a really nice screen and roll from Ducharme and Edwards.
Here is Aaliyah Edwards, and you think about the great UConn players over the years. The one that Gino Auriemma has compared her to is Napheesa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx.
Interesting. Napheesa definitely has a little bit more of an outside game right now than Aaliyah Edwards did. Aaliyah Edwards has a little bit more size, but this has been a great showing for her. Up to 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for the sophomore.
Aaliyah Edwards scoring the last 9 for the Huskies. Georgetown team had come into today winners of their last 3 games. But today, Paige Beckers and the Huskies have said something to say about that.
Sometimes a smile says a lot in this game, John. We see Paige starting to feel comfortable, defense to offense. Strong take, absorbs the contact, and when you've been out with an injury as long as she has, sometimes the hesitancy is to take the contact, whether it's in practice, whether it's in the game. So honestly, to have a play like that can go a long way down the stretch, to just feel comfortable and know that your body is ready again for those physical moments.
And Morris can't connect. Well, look, there's nothing ever good about an injury, as Juhas will head to the line for a pair of free throws. But if there's one thing Paige Beckers could do, not that it would have changed when she was playing that much, it's that according to Forbes, Paige Beckers is just a few deals away from $1 million in NIL endorsement money.
It's a different ball game this year. A lot of players taking advantage. I know AZ has a Chipotle deal. I wouldn't mind getting a taco or two. Paige has her different sneaker stuff going on. She gifted her entire team like several $100 sneakers over the Christmas holidays. Everybody got a different pair.
Now that's being a teammate.
That's my kind of teammate right there.
Yeah, when you were playing, if you could get into NIL, what would Kim Adams have been doing?
I would have loved to get some sort of sneaker deal and then probably Chick-fil-A.
I feel like you would have a local bakery or a coffee shop in Philly when you were playing at Penn, because you are an iced coffee connoisseur.
I didn't drink coffee until after my college days. The quarterfinal day, we might be looking at a 3 iced coffee day for me.
Wow. Start the counter. Here comes Westbrook. And Evina Westbrook.
You talked about it earlier, John. I mean, this rotation that they have now, there is no let up from anybody who comes into the game. It is really shaping into something pretty special.
Evina Westbrook relishes her role of coming in off the bench and providing the spark. The Huskies have been a well machine. UConn Huskies.
Looking like Fanta on the dance floor. Hoboken.
Let's take a look at the bracket here in the Big East tournament. DePaul and Marquette are coming up after this one, and we want to remind all of you, we go to FS2 for the rest of the day.
All 3 of these remaining games, I think, have the potential to be really good, and there is a live look at the Golden Eagles. One of the beauties of having everybody on site, you see everybody walking around, see them live scouting the games, but we will have that one next. DePaul and Marquette, big time rivalry, NCAA tournament implications on the line. So make sure you guys are buckled in for the full day here.
Before last year, DePaul and Marquette had met in 4 consecutive Big East tournament finals. So to have that on a quarterfinal day, and 2 teams that are still trying to build out NCAA tournament cases, DePaul more so, but it certainly makes it an interesting matchup.
Yeah, we talked to Megan Duffy. She said this feels abnormal to meet so early as Clockerty knocks another one. She's found a little bit of rhythm here in this second half, John, the Lehigh grad transfer.
7 threes against UConn this year. And here's that pressure for the Hoyas that helped them beat Providence yesterday. Ducharme can't hit. Williams. Good pass ahead to Cloggerty from West. And there's Mary Cloggerty, the first Hoya into double figures.
And that time, John, you get a stop at the other end. You secure the rebound. It allows you to get out and play with a little bit of pace, where Georgetown, I think, is certainly a little bit more effective, especially in this matchup with the size of UConn on the other end.
Mary Cloggerty, Jimmy Howard just calls her that person you can always count on in the gym, getting after it. Ducharme will head to the line.
Here's Mary Clockerty, just nice fundamental footwork there. She's a player that won a Patriot League championship at Lehigh, played in the NCAA tournament, has brought them that experience this season. (60-22). It's been Williams, Edwards, and Fudd in double figures.
All 9 Huskies who have played have scored.
They have cooled down from behind the arc, though, John. We mentioned they had 9 threes at the half. They've yet to hit one here in the second.
Bolden Morris has been off today, 1 of 10 from the floor after her great performance yesterday. Newhouse off to Ducharme. And there it is, the first 3 of the second half.
It's a big advantage when you have post players who can pass out of the post. And on this team, you have a couple of them. Olivia Nelson-Adota on the bench right now actually leads the team in assists. And then a great read there from Newhouse.
The answer is good for Bolden Morris. It's more like it for the Hoya Star. 8 seconds now. Beckers. Paige Beckers, third 3. From half court, we go to the 4th. Paige Beckers is back.
And it is all Huskies here feeling good in their home state of Connecticut. Paige Beckers, 3rd game back, 3rd 3 of the game. Paige Beckers has her group rolling right now.
Taking a look at the scoring by quarter. Georgetown putting up 16 in the 3rd, but Connecticut in full control, as they have been in this Big East tournament throughout the years. They made their return to the conference tournament last year, and they reclaimed their throne in this league.
And this is an important and a different conference tournament for UConn Huskies, just because of the changes in the lineups, the injuries, now having everybody back. They're not just trying to win this tournament. They're trying to figure out their identity with Paige back in the lineup, with everybody healthy, because clearly they want a trophy here, but their sights are set much farther down the road than Mohegan Sun.
Here comes Beckers. To stay with UConn. Well, you think about it. In these 41-point games, and you've talked about how Gino Auriemma keeps coaching his team. So if you're a player right now, what are you thinking about in the next 9.5 minutes?
It's all execution, honestly. You are trying to get better with every possession. You are making sure you're on the same page as a team on both ends of the floor with what you're running, everybody knowing what their role is in a given moment, and then being really sharp on the defensive end. We heard Coach Auriemma in the huddle. Paige knocks another one, but we heard him say there's going to be nights where the ball isn't going in the basket, and that's what you're working for in these moments, is making sure you are sharp, finding other ways you can score the ball on nights when it's not going to drop as well from 3 as it has today.
Fogarty had the hot hand in the 3rd quarter with a couple of threes. Gives it away. Here comes Beckers. She's got 13. Newhouse left alone and makes the most of it.
Gorgeous sequence. There were about 2 players there who could have taken the shot. Paige could have taken it. Kristen could have taken it. But they make the couple extra passes and get a wide open, high percentage look underneath. That is great basketball.
18 assists on 26 makes. Fogarty.
Let's take a look back at this ball movement. Paige could take this shot. Kristen could take this shot, but they get that defense to have to close out, which leaves Dorka Juhas wide open on the block. That is called giving up good shots for great shots.
Juhas and Beckers get an ovation as Beckers comes off in 16 minutes. 13 points.
I think it was, I don't anticipate she would go back in this game. Nice 3 there from Kaylin West. But I think this was an important game for her. She started to find some rhythm back from her jump shot, knocking down a couple of threes, just little by little, working back, really confidence. And feeling comfortable with the physicality is what's most important for her right now.
Well, Beckers had 13 combined in her first 2 games back. 13 today. And you take a look at the injuries that this program has had to deal with. It's been a season unlike any other to have 10 different starting lineups.
And the AZ Fudd injury was major too. 11 games. When I spoke with Gino ahead of the Tennessee game a couple weeks ago, he said people are talking about some of our non-conference losses. It wasn't just that we didn't have Paige. We didn't have Paige and we didn't have AZ Fudd. And now we're really starting to see the impact that AZ Fudd can have on this team as well.
Here's the other question about this team, is how does the selection committee evaluate them? Because Autumn Johnson, the NCAA national bracketologist, has Connecticut on her 3 line in her most recent bracket forecast.
It's going to be interesting. We've seen some teams falling. Louisville projected as a 1 seed, loses last night to Miami in the ACC tournament. It's going to be interesting to see how heavily they weigh the injuries to both Paige and AZ and various other ones that we just saw, because I don't know, I think this team is looking like a 2 seed to me. And obviously there are many factors that go into that. But I think this team is deserving of a 2 seed rather than a 3.
More important to be a 2 or in Bridgeport, which has the regional?
Maybe both. Could you get both? I would have to look at the logistics of that. I know the fans would love to go to Bridgeport.
Yeah, you think about the quarterfinals already in conference tournaments. 5 seed Indiana, who had been struggling, they take down Maryland in the Big Ten. In the SEC, LSU gets knocked off by Kentucky, a shocking win for the Wildcats, who were the 7th seed. Then you had Miami's improbable win, as you brought up, over Louisville. And to cap off the night, 6th seed Nebraska taking down 3 seed Michigan in the Big Ten.
And that's why I'm really excited for the 3 games after this, John, because I think we could have some moments like that in this tournament.
DePaul Marquette coming up next. Bud is off this time. And our nightcap, Villanova and St. John's, followed by Creighton and Seton Hall. And in the Big East, Gino Auriemma told us he believes there should be 4 teams selected to the field of 68. That's new this year with the first 4.
I'm in total agreement. I think right now, obviously, UConn, many people have Creighton as a lock, which I think is deserving. And then DePaul and Villanova, both teams on the bubble. Villanova playing extremely well heading into this tournament, and that's why the results of this tournament are going to be magnified for teams like that.
Rest of our coverage will be on FS2, starting with DePaul Marquette, 2:30 Eastern time. And Kim, I do have to tee you up here. Beyond just all the situations with these teams, as West hits it, why should America watch DePaul?
Top scoring offense in the nation, and also the best freshman in the nation, Anissa Morrow, playing like an All-American. Last game against Creighton, 41 points and 18 rebounds, 24 straight double-doubles. You do not want to miss that show amongst many other talented players in the next matchup.
A foul on that 3. That will send Flaherty to the line as Kristen Williams mounts all ball. Keegan Flaherty, a sophomore for the Hoyas. She's taken an active role beyond basketball, both in her community and on campus. She's part of a group that's called Varsity Athletes Against Substance Abuse. She's the president of that group and has been a member of Be the Change, a cancer awareness club, student council president. She's really the all-encompassing student athlete. And I have to show her a little extra love because she's from my neck of the woods, Rye, New York, Rye High School, Section 1 basketball, just about 15 minutes from where I grew up in White Plains. So shout out to Teagan, Westchester, New York. You wear the Westchester, New York pride unlike anybody I've come across. Do you not wear the Cleveland pride? Bingo. Absolutely. That's hometown pride. You had a lot of great moments. Laced them up for White Plains. I've seen those newspaper clippings. Edwards with the board and a foul on the floor. On Wright.
John, you really have to credit Georgetown here. I mean, it would be so easy to throw in the towel here, and they are just continuing to fight on. Nobody has given up, and that is the word that has really personified this Hoyas team all season.
Well, you think about it, you go into the last weekend of the regular season, Nelson Adota with the offensive rebound, she's fouled, and it could have been easy to go on the Butler-Xavier road swing and mail it in. But they win both games and came into today winning their last 3. I thought yesterday the way they fought was the difference in the game, particularly from the press.
Yeah, and Georgetown, a team who had lost 8 straight before winning those 3. Kelsey Ransom, was still sad to see her on the bench, had such a great season before getting injured in the second half of yesterday's game. But there's a lot of great youth potential to be excited about within this group. Not necessarily that we saw today, but Brianna Scott, the freshman, was outstanding yesterday.
Brianna, the daughter of our friend Christy Winter-Scott, who does a terrific job for us at Fox Sports and Big Ten Network. And Brianna played AAU ball with AZ Fudd.
Yes, many connections among these two teams. We mentioned earlier with AZ and her mom playing for Georgetown. Coach Howard had coached AZ's mom.
Downstairs to Nelson Adota. Mule greeted her with a smile.
She had the mismatch inside, and it was just a easy little lob in up to Olivia.
Isn't it amazing talking with people around Connecticut? They said they feel like Nelson Adota might be the most valuable player on this team. Edwards with the board. Beckers. An exclamation point. 16 points for the superstar. And a timeout called by the Hoyas. The champs are in fact here.
Starting to feel a little bit back to normal for Paige. She is back to getting buckets.
Well, these fans have packed Mohegan Sun and are impressed with the UConn Huskies, but when you lead Big East history with 19 Big East women's basketball tournament titles, you don't get as impressed when Paige Beckers hits a 3, as evidenced here by Gino Auriemma.
Yeah, let's wait on the reaction. Not just a 3, this is her season high 4th 3 of the season, and Gino just puts his head down, walks. He didn't like something. Maybe he didn't like the screen. Maybe he didn't like the footwork. This, quite frankly, just wasn't good enough for Gino Auriemma.
Incredible. And the point off the dish from Paige Beckers, and they have a really interesting relationship. Beckers will listen to him and give it right back.
Oh, she will. Especially last season, we saw that. Obviously, she's been out, so we haven't seen as many interactions in the post-game pressers, but I'm sure they're just getting warmed up for some good March content for us.
She was talking with the staff one day at practice, and they were talking about running a play for her, and she goes, yeah, I'll make it. I'll make 3, 4 in a row. And Gino Auriemma goes, no, get off. Get off the floor. And she said, what are you talking about? I'm going to make them. That's her confidence.
We certainly see that confidence really starting to come back. You see the efficient numbers and limited minutes, too, as Caroline Ducharme talk about players stepping up their roles when Paige was out. Caroline Ducharme, we talked to Gino earlier in the year. He said at times in the preseason, Caroline Ducharme looked like a senior on the floor, and it took her a little bit of time to get going. When Paige went out, her minutes really increased, and she was a player that Gino gave the ball to get the game winner against DePaul about a month or so ago.
All Big East second-team selection. She went through an ACL and a labrum injury in high school. Aaliyah Edwards has had a day. 14 and 7.
It's really a different level to this team, I think. When she is as locked in as she's been, she can impact the game equally as well on this end of the floor.
And really coming on as Gina Auriemma will pause things here to get his bench players involved. Gabrielle, Amari DeBerry checking in for the Huskies and getting around as Nelson Adona and Beckers take a seat.
Just when you thought that the Huskies couldn't get any bigger, they bring in 6'5" and 6'5" off the bench.
DeBerry checks in and makes an impact.
Everything's going right now, and the bench knew that was coming. We will miss seeing Paige reactions from the bench now that she's on the floor more, because those were pretty gold during her injury.
Just check YouTube. There were reels all over the place of all her reactions. That one goes for Milan Bolden-Morris. And you have to tip your cap to the Boston College transfer, because she's the single biggest reason why the Hoyas got here, leading them to that win over Providence yesterday.
Yeah, she's had a great year, one of the top three-point shooters in the Big East, and just the passion of this team. And she had to shoulder a lot of extra responsibility today without her counterpart on the perimeter, Kelsey Ransom. A great, really incredible leadership from Milan Bolden-Morris.
Now Jimmy Howard will bring in his bench players to get this experience playing in the Big East tournament.
Shania Wright, another player who really just brings the heart and passion, and it's always tough to see those moments at this time of year, especially for the upperclassmen who might not play another year. You know, everyone has an extra year right now with COVID, but you don't know who's taking that or not.
Yeah. Shania has had a terrific career, both on and off the court. That one falls for Brianna Scott, and she's part of the future. And you see Grace Ann Bennett, those emotions say it all. Losing her mother earlier this season, and just playing such a key role for this team as a leader and the junior. We expect her back next season. What an inspiration she is to everybody. That gets you choked up. There's Natalie Jasper, and the Hoya bench loves that. The freshman.
She's the walk-on. You love a moment like that. James Howard, big smile on his face. That's what you work all year for, a moment like that.
Nobody was stopping Connecticut today, but the Hoyas did not stop fighting. UConn will get the winner of DePaul and Marquette tomorrow. Now, DePaul had the Huskies on the ropes in Chicago, but UConn found a way in what was a thrilling game, one of the best of the regular season.
Absolutely. I know those two teams today, Marquette, DePaul, they're going to battle it out to get the opportunity to play UConn tomorrow.
The Connecticut Huskies are back to full strength. And today, they put on a full display of what they can be. UConn is on to the Big East semis.
Really impressive performance, especially offensively, with just how many different players were getting involved. John, a bunch of players in double figures, extra passes. I think a really important step for this UConn team as they work to refine that chemistry now with Paige Beckers and everybody else in the lineup finally healthy for the first time in a while.
UConn will get the winner of DePaul Marquette tomorrow, and we are back after the break with more from the winning Huskies. UConn rolls to the Big East Tournament semifinals with a commanding performance over Georgetown. Megan Caffrey as the Huskies leader. Gina Auriemma.
Thanks so much, John. Coach, you told me at the half you wanted a little bit more inside out from your team. How did they do in the second half?
Yeah, I thought we came out in the second half and got the big guys more involved. You know, those big guys, they play defense, they rebound, they run up and down the floor. If you don't throw them the ball enough times, you know, they get a little bit cranky. But I thought we did a really good job of getting them involved, and they did a good job of getting themselves involved. You know, and you're going to need them, you know, not just in the next couple games, but, you know, going forward in the NCAA tournament.
16 points for Paige today. Another step forward. How did she take another step forward towards being fully back today?
Yeah, we're just trying to monitor her minutes, you know, because we got 3 games in 3 days, and we go by what it looks like, you know. So every day it looks a little bit better in practice. Every once in a while she'll have some setbacks, you know, she'll have a bad day somewhere. But right now all the good days are way better than any bad day. So she looked good today. We'll see how she feels tomorrow at shoot around, and, you know, we'll just play it by ear.
How do you assess how the team looks as a whole with now having all of those puzzle pieces back?
Yeah, you know, none of them are happy because I'm always subbing this one out for that one, and this one they liked it better when, you know, nobody ever came out of the game. But I think they appreciate the fact that they can go as hard as they can, and that we've got a lot of guys who can contribute. So, you know, it's fun playing basketball. You know, it's not a grind like it was for, you know, 90% of the season.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
John?
Thanks, Megan. Kristen Williams set the tone for the Huskies.
Yeah, she was fire to start the game. She got a couple wide open looks from 3 and made the Georgetown zone pay for it. I love when she gets out in transition. That says it all right there. The passion. Kristen Williams, 15 on the afternoon.
Megan is with the senior star.
Thanks, John. Kristen, you said before this game you were going to come in and play with a chip on your shoulder. What chip did that team just leap out on the court?
I thought we played a great game overall, and it started with our defense. We were very aggressive, and like you said, we are playing with a chip on our shoulder, so that was a big emphasis just to come out being aggressive on both ends of the floor.
What did you see from your team defensively today?
We got a lot of steals, and we were just playing aggressive. We got a lot of stops in our press, and that just fueled us for our offense.
Another step closer towards having all these puzzle pieces back together. You're flourishing right now, to put it in your words. How much fun is it to be playing full strength again?
So much fun. It's been a long time coming. I'm just really excited that all of our guys are healthy now. And as you can see, we have a lot of fun out there.
Thanks so much, Kristen.
Thank you.
John and Kim?
Taking a look at the Big East tournament bracket, DePaul and Marquette. What a showdown, the 4-5 game coming up on FS2. Then Villanova, led by Maddie Siegrist, they'll take on St. John's. And the quarterfinal action wraps up the nightcap. Creighton and Seton Hall in a rematch of an epic game last year. So, Connecticut put it all together this afternoon. Back to full strength. It was a commanding performance. What stood out to you the most?
Well, I really like what Gino just said in his interview. He said it wasn't a grind to play basketball anymore. You can just see how freely things are starting to flow again. I think this roster is as talented as any roster in the country from 1 to 5, and then with the bench players as well. So I think this was a great day for UConn, as we said, in terms of starting to figure out who they're going to be now that everybody's coming back. Typically, a team figures that out in December, January. Well, Gino's group is figuring it out right now, but it came together pretty well here today in quarterfinal 1.
And Paige Beckers, she's really figuring it out too. That was quite the performance in a way to open up this conference tournament. Once again, our final score, UConn 84, Georgetown 38. Big East quarterfinal action continues on FS2 at 2:30 Eastern as DePaul takes on Marquette. For Kim Adams, Megan Caffrey, our entire crew, I'm John Fanta. Thanks for watching, and so long for now from Mohegan Sun.